In short, the philosophy of One City Ministries is to make a difference by being the difference. We want to model differences that can sustain and go forward. And we find that when we model that difference and they embrace the difference, then it will sustain and it will carry on. We want to work through the people, not just to the people, and empower them to bring them up.
People ask us a lot why we are in Uganda, why we're in Africa. I think we led a really comfortable life in the States. We had our children around us, and I could find anything I wanted on Dale Mabry Highway. And I loved it there. Loved to entertain and have our friends there. We loved our church, and it was great. And 10 years ago, our youngest son had a lot of issues with addiction for a long time. And I think obviously bigger than we were aware of. And he was going to go out with some friends and promise he'd be home for Sunday dinner and game night with all the other kids. And we really believed it. We thought, he's turned the corner. So we went off to church. We were teaching a class that night, and we got a phone call almost as soon as we got there from one of his other friends that said she thought that Sean had died. And we didn't really, I couldn't really comprehend that. And so we quickly drove home, and as we were pulling in, I can see this business card on our door from the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department. So he came to the house and told us that, in fact, Sean had died. So when a few weeks later, I'm in Sean's room, and I'm sitting there with his box of ashes, and I said to God, this is all I have left of my son. But clearly, he said, that's all everything in this world becomes, ashes. That's not the important thing. And then clearly said, you're going to Africa. And I took about a second and went, okay. It was like we got to this place of surrender. The bottom falls out of your world, and you're in that place that only God can heal. And it was in that moment that I was able to hear him and knew that he had something different for us to do. I got up and walked out of the room, and Mike was standing in the hallway, and I said, hey, we're going to Africa.
When she said we were going to go to Africa, that was just completely out of the blue for me. I didn't expect it from her.
And his jaw dropped, 2 days later, he's still standing there with his jaw on the floor.
When she said I needed to test the concept. I needed to test that this was a real thing, because you're talking about a major life change that was going to cost a lot, do a lot, and just uproot us completely from our comfort zone. I've always had an unction and want and desire, and thought that's where God was calling me, and I felt that in my spirit. So I pulled some reports from Homeland Security, my friends, and they gave me a report on Africa, and especially Uganda, with red flags all over it. Just many compelling problems. I put that out in front of her, and I wanted to get her impression from it, but she read it and didn't even flinch. And then I knew, okay, this is real, and so we're packing.
And we began to clear out our house. We had a large home, and everything was given away or sold, and Uganda kept coming up. We kept hearing Uganda, and we came not knowing, are we going to be living in a mud hut? Who knows? Are we going to have electricity? I don't know.
We left Tampa and arrived here in Uganda in 2008. First landed right in Kampala, a big city. But then we came here to Mbali after much prayer and God leading. Came here to Mbali in 2009. In about, I think it was 2010, we started negotiating with the government for this land. In 2011, we were actually offered the land, and we drew off a memorandum of understanding. It was signed and sealed, and now we're in the process of title.
When I came here, I really thought we'd be somewhere working with child soldiers. That was what the big hot button was then. There was something about driving through this village that I just felt like I was at home. And I went into the church, and just the raw worship that people had, the crying out to God, but the joy, the dependence they have on God here, just struck me as this is the place that I want to be. These are the people that I want to be with. They have become my family here. They're just a humble people that just love the Lord and depend on Him so much. And that's where I was when I first came here.
This is where God brought us. I knew that going into it. And so you go where you're planted and you grow where you're planted. So it isn't Uganda that brought me. It's what is here that brought me. There's need here. There's needs that need to be addressed. So we knew that if we can confront those and go against those and defeat those issues, then we can really use this as a true model and emulate this all around the world.
That's what brought us, and it was totally God, and He has just kind of held us, along the way, and it's been totally God that we have moved through and done the things that we do here. It's what He asks us to do.
By the local people here, I think we received very well. The interesting thing was God brought us around the right people for the right deal. He surrounded us with spiritual leaders who really are the lifeblood of this area. They are the community leaders. Pastor Masaba and Bishop Tikoli carried a lot of weight.
There was so much need. When you're with the people, it's not just a picture, and you're with people and you're seeing people starving and you're seeing people dying. That was really hard for us.
When I come out in the morning, it's life invigorating. I feel energized. I love the idea of being able to walk out my door and be in this not only in this environment, but right in the center of all the activity. It's here. Everybody comes here to this house. This is the center of everything that happens for us in Africa. So that's what invigorates me. I hate travel. I don't like commuting. so I'm here, and I love being able to interface with our people right from the get-go, right from the start.
I think one city, we've been doing this for almost 10 years. We have years where a lot goes on, and we have years where we feel like God has us in a holding pattern almost. And I feel like the ministry is about to explode, that this village is going to start running on its own like it should be, and we're going to go on to the next one. And I think that just to help spread more empowerment to people, more hope to people, more joy to people, I feel like it's about ready to just get there.